What's up guys, Holden here at HBall Fitness. Today I'm going to show you a video for shoulder internal rotation. Okay, so internal rotation is something that we don't want to necessarily be in. So I mean internal rotated so that humerus is internally rotated. So external rotation would be like that, internal rotation with that. And internal rotation is coupled with scapula protraction. So protraction is, rounded shoulders, okay? That's what a lot of people always say when they're talking about posture and, sitting at a desk. Get these rounded shoulders. Basically, that's just the scapula protracted. But coupled with that is internal rotation of that shoulder because it has to create some space when the scapula is protracting. Protracting and then externally rotating is not a position we're really in. We're protracted and then internally rotated. Okay. So, however, you have to have internal rotation as a movement. So I think sometimes people are under the belief like, okay, we don't want any internal rotation at all. Well, that's not entirely true. We want that range of motion. We just don't want to be stuck in that position. So as Kelly Starrett was talking about in Mobility WOD, is specifically for the hip, is that you want to actually have that rotation despite you not wanting to be in that position. So I don't want to be internally rotated all day, but I need that rotation in order to externally rotate better and actually have range of motion in my shoulder more, because that's a huge motion in your shoulder. So to say that you don't want to have it is restricting you immensely. Like in volleyball, when you're swinging, when you're doing like a wrist away shot, that's internal rotation. But if you're missing that, you can go here, So if you just have to kind of think of it when you're with your shoulder, like, okay, if I'm missing that, then I can't even go right here. So you just gotta play with it. Here's an exercise you can do. Once again, these exercises aren't the cure-all for everything. I recommend seeing a physical therapist or something because they can really treat you. But these are kind of modalities you can do at your house that can actually help. So you're gonna take a band, okay, and just attach it to something high, okay. Next thing that a lot of people don't have in their house, which is totally understandable, is a pulley. I don't know if you guys can see this, but in the background here, I have a pulley hooked up with weights. This thing is from spudinc.com. So freaking cool. I love this thing. I think it's way better than like a lat pull down system at a gym. This thing's just perfect. Okay, so basically you need these two. I'll do it on my left shoulder. You're going to put the band in the socket, not in the socket, around the shoulder joint, so it's posterior pull, glide. What you're going to do is add like 5-10 pounds to this pulley. Nothing too big. You don't want like 50 pounds on here to rip your shoulder out. Basically what you're going to do, if you guys can see this, is I'm going to take this pulley, sorry my dog's right here, I'm going to take this pulley and bring it in internal rotation. So that pulley with the weights is driving my shoulder into internal rotation, kind of pulling it away from my body, as you see. Now it's not ripping my shoulder out, but it's just having a nice glide that way. Okay, you see. And this band is doing some distraction. So what you can do is step out, get some distraction going, okay? It's pulling that scapula, humerus all back, okay? And now, since we put the shoulder in a good position here, we can really work on this internal rotation. So this weight is driving my shoulder back, okay? Internal rotation. You guys can imagine that when you reach behind your back, that's internal rotation with some extension, okay? So we need that. So what's happening here, as opposed to you just putting your arm behind your back with the band, this is important. This is good because there's some active force kind of pulling you. It's as if you had a friend or something kind of pulling your arm with you. So this is very important. So what you're going to do is just step out and then let the pulley pull you back. Okay? And so make sure you're kind of safe getting out of that. You don't want to yank on your arm. So as you can see, it's working on that position here. So it's setting the shoulder in a good position, back. And from here, we're working on that internal rotation. So what that thing was doing was it was pulling my arm away. And if you think of that, if my arm's like that, that's internally rotated. Okay, so now we're working on that range. As you can see, when you do that, you actually increase your external rotation. So it's kind of a cool thing to do. So that's something you can do as a kind of a post-workout work on shoulder. I did shoulders today, and that's a great post-workout thing. But yeah, just remember, guys, you need rotation for all movements. Just because that movement is bad doesn't mean you shouldn't have it. So there you go, guys.